the one thing I say about the Who all the time, and I think I did a podcast episode of my History in Five Songs with Martin Popoff on bands that were I think I called it bands of individuals, right? And the idea is that the Who are almost like the poster children for the idea of when you listen to the Who, it's like you're listening to four guys that are in four separate corners of a very large room.
So true.
This is not a unified army of a band.
Yet
They
how do
aren't
they
putting
make it
forth.
work though? How are they able to make
Well, they make it work
the
because,
sum is bigger than the parts
well,
thing? They
but usually when the sum is bigger than the parts, you are thinking of something that comes out as a unified force. So this is more like it's more like all of the parts are interesting, and you can listen to all the parts on their own. You've got this drummer who's kind of like a Bill Ward figure in that he's clumping things around the guitar parts, and he's kind of playing lead drums. Um, One of the funny stories, and it's mentioned in there, but the way Keith's drums were arranged, like he would have a row of tom toms and then a row of tom toms behind those tom toms, rather than everybody else puts them in a row, no matter how many of them they have. And one of the guys, I think it was John, described Keith's drumming style as skiing, because
yeah.
like pushing your poles like this, so he'd have to go forward to toms and back to toms and forward to toms and back to toms. So you had Keith doing that, you had John as legendary as a super busy bassist. You had Pete, who is kind of like a noisenick on the guitar, but he made kind of like polite small noises, whereas Keith was making a lot of noise and John was making a lot of noise, but Pete was almost like a hummingbird or a robin or something with his noises. He was like little darting noises and stuff. So he made licks more than he made riffs. He played rhythm guitar and he played licks, but he didn't particularly ever play riffs. That's the funny thing about Pete. And then obviously he's a co-lead vocalist. He's the mastermind of all this stuff. Beautiful acoustic guitar on this album as well.
Yeah.
And of course, he's this pioneering crazy mad scientist synthesizer. And then you've got Roger on top of it all with his hauler. Roger's kind of like he's got this very distinct, but it's a gruff voice, but he puts that gruff voice into different gears. So you get that out of him. And he is famously the actor who's acting out these words, and Pete's somewhat writing these words even for this actor, who is Roger.
Yeah, I'm still amazed. I think of Led Zeppelin too. I'm amazed though that you have four individual extremely talented guys and they could come together to make a song that is as good as they are, because I would think that they'd be kind of pulling pushing and pulling a little too much, and the song sacrifices because of it, but it works. It works. It's
But
amazing.
you
I
know
mean,
what, Eric? I really wonder if the Who's songs are that good.
yeah,
It's almost like we are more, it's almost a little more like jazz, where we are looking at the performance, and
yes.
we're focusing. We want to watch this guy this time we listen to this song. Next time we listen to the song, I'm just going to listen to that guy. A good buddy of mine, Ralph Chapman, said that one of his music teachers once, and I thought this was a great comment, that when you're analyzing an album, you should go through an album that way. Go through the whole album, listen to just the vocals. Go through the whole album, listen to just the guitar solos, listen to just the drums, listen to just the production. Um, and it's almost like when you listen to the Who, you can do that with these songs. They come together, but it never feels like a perfect puzzle. It feels like a lot of the bolts and screws are loose all the time. So Who songs just kind of clank down the road, and it's super charming.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say there's a massive strength of song, and I wouldn't say there's a massive strength of production. I don't think you ever get unity. You just get this charming four-headed beast clanking down the road, and that's what's interesting about the Who.